me.
bad rumor that
I
y'all
was
broke up.
respecting,
Who
but I
did
had to
that?
go with
He
her.
never told me.
It's so good to see Toni and Birdman sitting together and being
No,
together,
I did not
after the little
start
bump
that
in the
rumor.
road that the social media was trying to talk about for them. But just a reminder, I am not planning the wedding.
Eating Toni. Oh, y'all so cute. Look at that.
Every woman don't want that hard side all the time.
To be sold on a low. Every now and then.
Why would I have to be soft?
It's putting your guard. I can always overspeak the woman that's what I'm gonna do.
But I don't have to.
Y'all imagine getting married, and 2 days later, you're already filling out divorce papers. That's not a storyline from a reality show. That's real life for Toni Braxton and Birdman. Yes, Mr. Put Some Respect on My Name got tied down only to untie himself immediately, and now Tamar. Braxton is low-key out here telling us why, and before y'all assume, it's because Birdman prefers kissing Lil Wayne on the mouth. No shade, no judgment. Let's just get one thing straight. There's something deeper going on behind the scenes. Something wild, something very, very messy from the alleged trickery. To strategic marriage moves rumors of Birdman being on the DL, and Tamar dropping clues like breadcrumbs. The internet has some questions, so buckle up, cause today, we're unpacking a love story that might have never been about love in the first place. So let's start with the facts. Toni Braxton and Mr. Number One Stun got secretly married on August 8, 2024. No big announcement, no Instagram glamour shots, nothing, just boom, all of a sudden married. Now guess when Toni listed their separation date, August 10th, yes y'all, just 2 whole days later. But Toni officially filed for divorce 2 weeks after that calling. The marriage irretrievably broken, no explanation. No messy public fallout, just cold paperwork in and out done. But here's the twist: months later, she dismissed the divorce and Birdman signed off. So what's the tea? Were they working it out? Was the marriage even real? Well, Tamar Braxton hasn't come right out and spilled it all yet. But she's been hinting. And what she's been hinting at is that maybe Toni never should have married him in the first place. Now this Toni and Birdman thing has never really been easy to follow. They've been on and off again since 2016, and even when they were on, it really didn't make sense, cause they're such an unlikely couple. But back in 2018, Birdman popped a big question with the massive $5 million yellow diamond ring. It was a whole moment. But then nothing happened. Okay, you're engaged. I'm engaged. He did good, right? Well, very well. But there's no date. There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates. But we were doing Braxton family values, and we were going through a little drama, and I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all the sisters together. The wedding kept getting delayed, postponed, and pushed off, and Toni said it was about timing. Well, fans said, girl, he's not the one. Then came the biggest red flag. Toni lost the ring, like literally lost a $5 million engagement ring on a flight. The bag was found, but the ring gone, y'all. Puff be gone. But Birdman, he didn't even get mad about it. He shrugged it off like it was nothing. That's when people really started thinking, wait, is this relationship even real? And I'm thinking, hell, was the ring even real? Cause $5 million ain't nothing to sneeze.
Okay, you're engaged.
I'm engaged.
He did good, right? Well, right? Very well. He did good. But there's no date.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton family values and we were going through a little drama. And I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of us sisters together.
But by 2019, they unfollowed each other. Birdman posted, it's over on IG, and then said it was for publicity. So was the love really real? Or was it just content for reality TV? Well, apparently Tamar knows the truth, and she's keeping it just cryptic enough to keep us all guessing. But let's talk about this divorce filing, because Miss Toni did not mince words. She officially filed for divorce just 2 weeks after marrying Birdman, and she described the marriage as irretrievably broken. That's legal talk for this ain't fixable, I'm out. But what's wild is there was no public spats, no cheating accusations, no big blowout. It was just done like she had second thoughts immediately after saying, I do. And then months later, she dismissed the divorce like it never happened. She went from he wasn't that enough for me to I love me some him. So what happened? Well, people started speculating that something must have gone down privately during those 48 hours that flipped everything on its head. And let's be real, a second for a millisecond is giving cold feet means full-in regret, and then it was just another sad love song. But according to Tamar, this wasn't just a bad decision. It was a calculated one. Tamar didn't flat out spill every single detail. But baby, she dropped enough breadcrumbs for fans to connect them dots with me, 'cause that's what Emma do. She happy and ain't got money, 'cause I'm going to make sure that. So what's the problem with you and me? She also commented about how women settle for safety instead of love. And in another moment, she talked about folks locking down people who aren't ready. It didn't take long for the internet to put two and two together. Could Toni have been marrying Birdman during a vulnerable time, maybe for financial security, maybe for state protection, or maybe even just because he was there? Fans think Toni tricked Birdman into saying yes, and Tamar's reaction says she might agree. But if you look at the timeline, it's a little too clean. Quick wedding, quick separation, quick legal silence, like she just wanted that last name. But y'all, let's address the elephant in the room. Every time Birdman's name comes up, someone always brings up Wheezy F baby. Please say the baby and his little kiss with Birdman. But not just one kiss. We're talking about multiple videos over multiple years where Birdman kisses Wayne on the lips, sometimes like a brother, and sometimes a little bit extra.
Because that's what I'm going to do.
She happy. I ain't got money because I'm going to make sure of that. So what's the problem with you and me?
Now, let's be clear, we listen, we watch, and we don't judge. But in the hip-hop world, that's not something that goes unnoticed. So when Tamar started teasing that Birdman's loyalty might not be to Toni, people started side-eyeing hard. All my rumors picked up, and is Birdman on the DL? Was the marriage of Lavender set up to make everything look clean for the public? And if that's true, Toni may have been more of a business partner than a bride. Because honestly, nothing about this marriage, from the timeline to the energy, felt like a fairy tale. Now, this part hits a little different because Toni Braxton's been fighting lupus for years. She's had serious complications, even life-threatening scares. And when you're dealing with chronic illness, things like money, estate planning, and legal protection, it matters a lot. So here's a theory. Did Toni marry Birdman to secure her future, not for love, but for legal reasons, to make sure that her family was financially stable? If anything ever happened to her, Birdman has money, he's got power, and he was right there through some of her hardest times. She once said in an interview, every night he'd ask me, "Are you okay? Are you good?" So maybe, just maybe, the marriage was about more than romance. Maybe it was about stability, control, peace of mind, music. And Tamar, well, she's hinting at this too, saying Toni's always had a strong head for handling business. But the question becomes, was this marriage about love or survival? And back to that $5 million ring that just vanished, 'cause that part right there has been raising eyebrows. But after getting engaged in 2018, Toni boarded a flight, and her engagement ring disappeared mid-trip. She later said the luggage was found, but the ring was gone. Now, you'd expect that kind of loss to cause a huge meltdown, right? But Mr. Birdman, Mr. Gator Boots with the pimped-out Gucci suits, he didn't freak out at all. He didn't yell at all. He didn't even seem pressed. He basically told Toni, "It's all good. I'll get you another one." And that's when the fans were like, hold up, wait a minute, something seems a little bit off here. 'Cause when you spend $5 million on a ring, especially in a relationship that's already kind of rocky, you don't just brush it off like it was the lost AirPod. Even that's expensive. People started speculating, was the ring even real, y'all? Was the engagement just for show? And in hindsight, the moment felt like a turning point, like maybe neither of them was really all in anymore, if they ever even were in the first place. But here's tea. It's something that Tamara hinted at more than once. Toni was never head over heels in love with Birdman. She respected him, she cared for him, and he supported her through her lupus and personal losses. But love, that's deep, like passionate love. I want to build forever with you type of love. The fans just didn't see it. Even when they were together, Toni rarely smiled around him in public. She avoided questions about the wedding date, and she kept it vague in interviews. And On Instagram, any posts with Birdman were always sparse, deleted later, or missing entirely. Some say she was emotionally stuck between her past with Carrie Lewis, her role as a mom, and the pressure. According to Tamar, Toni got caught up trying to make something work that was never really meant to. But y'all, just so that the timeline's very clear, she was married August 8th, then separated by August 10th. That's not cold feet. That's a sprint out the door, and sources say. Birdman ghosted Toni right after the wedding. She filed for divorce 2 weeks later. But the damage was already done. And this is where it gets real crazy. Because Tamar allegedly told friends that Birdman saw something he didn't like. Maybe it was a vibe shift, maybe he realized he got played, or maybe he just never really wanted to be married in the first place and was pressured into it. It's given, I'll do this for you. But I'm not staying now. Some people say Birdman thought the marriage would be symbolic, not legally binding. So when he realized Toni actually meant business, he dipped. Well, Tamar didn't say it directly, but she hinted that Toni moved fast and Birdman moved faster in the other direction. But there's been lots of talks on how women settle for safe men over soulful ones, and how having a provider isn't the same as having a partner. It wasn't lost on anyone that Toni's situation ticked every single one of them boxes, and Tamar has always been the loud Braxton. But when it comes to family, she's rarely messy, unless it's for real real. So her shade feels like tough love, like a sister finally fed up watching big sis make the same mistake on repeat. And let's be honest, Tamar is not the only one thinking it, because plenty of fans saw the red flags way back in 2018, but Toni kept saying it was complicated. Now here's the part that really has people questioning everything. Was the marriage even real, or was it for cameras? Let's not forget Braxton Family Values was known for dropping big reveals. And what's the bigger than a surprise wedding? Birdman and Toni's whole relationship was always feeling like a little production. No wedding photos, no real honeymoon vibes, just a quiet little marriage followed up by a louder breakup. And if you look at the timeline, every public move happened when the Braxtons had a new project dropping. Coincidence? Some would say no. But fans now wonder if the entire marriage was more about managing Toni's image and Birdman's brand and ratings, not romance. Because the energy just never gave married couple, it gave co-stars. Well, some say Toni married Birdman to lock in her legacy. Others think Birdman said yes, just to shut down years of rumors, including whispers about him being on a DL. And then there's the wildest state that the whole thing was a lavender marriage, a mutual arrangement, and Toni gets legal protection and powerful partner on paper, and Birdman gets to quiet down speculation about his preferences and flexes a traditional image. And Tamar hasn't said it outright, but the fans are convinced that she was hinting at all of this. And let's not forget, Birdman's never been known for keeping a low profile. If this was the real deal love, wouldn't we have some proof of it? Instead, it all felt like a deal gone bad real fast. And this is the part that gets a little sad, though, because maybe this wasn't a scam or a trick or a publicity stunt. Maybe it was just two people trying to fill a void. They both had: Toni dealing with health struggles, career shifts, and aging in the public eye, and Birdman trying to rebrand and maybe finally settle down himself. And they might have been both wanting something stable, but just not with each other. And then they tried to force it maybe. And then it cracked in 2 days. So now the question everybody's asking, did Toni Braxton trick Birdman into marrying her? Did Birdman trap himself trying to save face? Or were they both just tired and lonely, and maybe looking for something that felt like love, even if it wasn't? Well, Tamar Braxton's comments might have been subtle, but the internet heard everything, because let's be real here, this didn't feel like love. It felt like a contract that just couldn't survive the fine print. And that 2-day marriage, it told us everything we needed to know. But I got to hear from y'all. Drop your thoughts in comments below, and let me know if you love celeb gossip like this. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and then turn on those notifications. so you never miss another moment of the Hollywood drama, family feuds, or industry secrets.